Spain and Georgia meet in Euro 2024 round of 16 action on Sunday, June 30th at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Not surprisingly, Spain will be massive favorites in this game. A minus 500 odds, the draw plus 550, Georgia plus 1400, that's 14 to 1 odds. Now, of course, we're into the knockout rounds here, so if you think this game could go to extra time or PKs and you're just looking for a 2 advance by any means bet, then be sure to look for that 2 advance or to qualify at your sportsbook. Spain to advance minus 1,000, Georgia to advance plus 600. For Spain, they easily and clearly have looked like the best team in the tournament so far after the group stage, and they even were playing in what was considered the group of death. Match day 1, 3-0 win over Croatia. Match day 2, 1-0 win over Italy. Match day 3, 1-0 win over Albania, and they won that game despite rotating 10 starters from the lineup as they already had first place clinched. Now, they were the only team to win all 3 games in the group stage. They were the only team to also not allow any goals in the group stage. If we look at their shots and shots on target, they had 11, 5 shots on target, 20, 9 shots on target, 16, 3 shots on target. Certainly they piled up quite a few shots during those 3 games. Spain's XG of 5.5 was only behind the 5.7 of Croatia, France, and Portugal. The 2.7 XGA was 7th in the 24 teams in the starting rounds of this tournament. The 9 shots on target was tied for the 6th fewest defensively there, 9 shots on target allowed. For Georgia, match day 1, they lost 3-1 to Turkey. Match day 2, they drew Czechia 1-1. And match day 3 was a huge upset over Portugal, 2-0, which has got them to this round in the round of 16. Definitely that's a huge win over Portugal. You have to note, though, that Portugal didn't need any points in that game, did rotate some players. They still had great players on the field, though. Ronaldo was playing as well, but Kvaratskhelia scored just 2 minutes in to give Georgia the quick lead, and Mkhitaryan added a PK in the 57th minute. He has 3 goals, 1 assist. He's been part of all 4 of Georgia's goals in this tournament. Georgia is a great story, making their first tournament, scoring their first goals, winning their first game, upsetting Portugal, and reaching the first knockout round. But let's look at some other stats that have not been as great for Georgia here. They've allowed the most shot attempts in this tournament through 3 games, 71. That's 15 more than anybody else. They've allowed the most shots on target, 25. That's 6 more than anybody else. They have the worst XGA of 8.0. The next worst was just 5.9. Now, offensively, the 6 shots on target they produced were tied with Serbia, only above Scotland's 3 for the worst total as well. Their 24 shot attempts were second worst to Scotland's 17 as well. Now, head-to-head, we have some very recent games to look at when it comes to matchups recently between Georgia and Spain. And we can look as recently as the qualifying rounds where Spain won 7-1 and 3-1. In 2021 qualifying for the 2022 World Cup, Spain won 2-1 and 4-0. Georgia does have 1 win over Spain. That was in a friendly, though, in 2016. Overall, they played 7 times. Spain is 6-0-1. They've won all 6 of the competitive matches, and the scores overall have been a combined 19-4. Now, recent form for these 2 teams, Spain, they've won 5 straight where they've outscored their opponents 15-1 in that time. Looking further back, they're 13-1-1 in their last 15 games. Their only non-wins were a 1-0 loss to Colombia, who are in the midst of a 20-plus game undefeated streak, and a 3-3 draw with Brazil. Georgia, they now have just 2 losses in 10 games. They've scored in 11 of 12 and also in 16 of 19, so they will have plenty of confidence playing well, winning games, and scoring in almost every game of late. But Kvaratskhelia and keeper Mamardashvili can only take this team so far, in my opinion. Mamardashvili had the most saves in the group stage with 20. That's 7 more than the next keeper, Romania's Nita. Now, Georgia did score in both qualifying games against Spain, so it's certainly possible they could get on the score sheet again. That would definitely add some more value if we were looking at a Spain win and Georgia to score, but I'm just not going to count on it here. I think a few different best bet options. Spain to win by at least 2, minus 160. I don't want to go by more than 2 here. We've rarely seen any big blowouts in this tournament. Spain to be winning at halftime and full-time, minus 138 is an option, or create a same-game parlay type bet where you go Spain, halftime, full-time, plus Spain to score at least 2 goals, coming in at minus 110 odds. I'll make that my best bet for Spain and Georgia. Spain, halftime, full-time, plus to score over 1.5, so that's 2 or more goals as the best bet at minus 110. What's your best bets for these games or this game? Share it down there in the comments. Best of luck in your Euros picks this week.